The Chiefs are going to be a nightmare for the rest of the NFL. Josh Simmons, Jeffrey Bassa, and a lot of the other rookies shined. Let's talk about that, Mike.
Chiefs Kingdom. What's up, baby? Noah Gray here, tight end for your Kansas City Chiefs. You're listening to All Chiefed Up with Mike and Steve Williams.
What is up, everybody? Chiefs Kingdom, ACU crew. Good to see you. We're going to talk some Chiefs tonight. They played their first preseason matchup last night against the Arizona Cardinals. Of course, you guys saw the post-game conversation. We've got to look at stuff a little bit deeper today and really get a good grasp of what happened, who done what, who did well, and who didn't. So we're going to talk about that tonight. If you don't care, do us a favor. Hit that like button real quick. Help get this out to more people, and then we'll get going. Make sure to get down in the comments, too, and let us know what you guys think. Mike, how you feeling about it after letting it marinate for 24 hours?
Yeah, I just went back. I spent the day at the beach, not to rub it in, but I got out. I got a little sun.
Living the life of luxury.
I chilled out. I went to dinner. I come back right before we got on, and I started going through some of the film. I wanted to give it some time to set in, and I watched the All-22 film, and you know, you watch those multiple times because you want to watch like linemen first, then you want to watch different things, and so I got through a lot of the first team offensive line snaps, and I was pretty impressed by a lot of the guys. I was decently pleased. I've seen a lot of mixed reviews about like Kingsley, for example. I've seen some mixed reviews about Josh Simmons. I don't know how you could even have a mixed review about Josh Simmons. I thought he played his butt off last night. But there's been a lot of this and that, and I've seen every Chiefs person in the world's been on X all day long analyzing every play and giving their thoughts and doing this and doing that. Everybody's the coach today, but we'll do it too. Take it with a grain of salt. I'm sure people's going to tell us we're dumb. That's just the way it works. But
right. Well, let's just start with the most obvious one, and that's Josh Simmons, right? Like, the first-round draft pick. We've been dying to have a solid left tackle, someone that can be there for the future. I think he played about 11 snaps last night total.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that I noticed, Mike. He did pretty good, right? Nothing crazy, nothing spectacular, but he's giving you a reason to give him the hype. He's definitely earning the hype, that's for sure. So if you want to be excited about it, I'm all for it. He was solid as hell. He did nothing wrong. So that's a start, right?
Yeah, I thought he looked pretty good. I watched there was one specific play where the defensive end got his hands up to his face. I want to say Sam McDowell asked him about that after the game, and he was like, it's an accident, is what defensive ends say when they get their hands up there. But to be honest, they do it. They get away with it half the time. And he anchored down. He settled in. The guy didn't push in on him. I thought he'd done a heck of a job, man, for his first game action. Now, look, a lot of people were bitching and moaning. That's the best way I can say it. Excuse my language, but that's what they were doing all day long about PFF. Man, we can't do PFF. They said he played a horrible game. Guys, they rated him a 68-ish, something like that. But in pass blocking, they rated him an 80. He scored higher than Creed, higher than Trey Smith. Yeah. He was the highest scoring offensive lineman on our team with an 80 per PFF in pass blocking sets. And really, that's all we need to worry about. The full offensive stuff is PFF getting in and doing all these little nitpicky things. And they're watching the game and doing things, and they're grading these guys based on each other. And so as long as, if you don't like the grade, cool, but it's about being judged with somebody else. And the point is, if the guy sitting next to him has a higher grade but he looked worse, then that's where you can take it away. But when I watched it last night, he was the best pass blocker out there, and that included Creed. And sure enough, the PFF grade represented it. So I think people get a little weird with PFF sometimes. It's a tool. Enjoy it for what it is. It's not a grading system like right? Well, it's not like you're in elementary school. Well, they give them an 80, so that's a B. No, that's not how PFF works. Like,
that's a high score.
Yeah, that's a pretty high score.
Yeah, for sure. I thought Josh Simmons did great, man. I have no complaints about it. I think he looked quick. His feet were good. He's strong. He's everything you want him to be. And he was spot on for the 11 snaps that he was in there. I know he's not a rookie, but let's talk about Kingsley Suamataia just a little bit. That's been a topic of discussion for Chiefs Kingdom. The common sentiment I'm seeing is that he was terrible.
Well, this play here is the one that people are talking about, Steve.
Right. So here's my thing. I went back and watched all the Kingsley Suamataia snaps, and there were a few mistakes. There were obvious mistakes there. But the majority of the snaps, Kingsley was good. He definitely had some good plays. They run a lot of weird things in Kansas City, right? You'll see there was one handoff over to Kareem Hunt on the right side of the line where Kingsley had his assignment is to get all the way to the tackle on the other side and block.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of weird things for these guys to do, and he was doing it. You also saw Kingsley up the field blocking several times when he didn't even have to be. And then I've seen a couple plays where he finished nasty. He did a lot of things right. There were those mistakes, though, and I think that's what people are kind of like focusing in on. And I think mainly the one that I've seen a lot of people bring up was him getting blown up by a linebacker. And, yeah, when you see it initially, it's like, geez, man, he just got leveled by a linebacker. Go back, watch it closer. Creed Humphrey got up in behind him, had his leg right behind him. He got tripped over Creed's leg. So that one is not as crazy. The one that you just brought up, that one right there, that was a mistake. He came up, he chipped the wrong dude. And if you pay attention...
Bro, you'll see here, I know that the circle's showing Josh Simmons because this was Josh Simmons' film, but Kingsley's right next to him. We can all figure this out.
Right, but you see, he comes up, he gets the wrong assignment, right?
Right, he hits there, he
was
bumps.
Late.
He's late getting back here on the guy, and he just kind of bull rushes.
Right,
like
so
bull
if you're late and you're off balance and somebody's got a full head of steam, good luck. So that's just some mistakes that Kingsley's going to have to get better at. I think what a lot of people think about Kingsley is they have negative connotations with him of what happened last year, and also they're really judging him hard. They're really scrutinizing him. This was his first game at left tackle. Or, I'm sorry, left guard, right?
Well, I mean, he played a little bit last year in the
A little bit in the
game.
Broncos game, yes. But this is like his first time starting at left guard, and I thought he did fairly well. Were there obvious mistakes he can get better at? Yes, but I think this is definitely workable. Like, I think he's going to be pretty decent. He'll be solid, but you got to give him some time to get in there. But Josh Simmons, looking good, baby.
Yeah, I like Josh Simmons. With your Kingsley stuff, I watched it last night with my own eyes during the game, and I thought there was plays where he looked shaky and plays where he looked solid. Going back and watching the film today, there was the one where he chip blocks. He got back a little late and got bull rushed. There was one where he kind of tripped over Creed. But other than that, I thought he was pretty solid. And I think Kingsley's he's a product of a lot of Chiefs fans these days. Let's just be completely honest. A lot of Chiefs fans these days don't have any
patience.
They don't have any patience with these kids. They don't want to let them develop. And look, he was a second-round pick, and he was benched early, and now he's a bust. He's a bust. And there's going to be a lot of people who's never going to get over that. And look, you can be right at times. People were saying that about Sky, and Sky's turned out to be that. But not everybody turns out to be like that. There's some guys that do take a little bit of time to develop. And I think we all just got to be a little bit, we got to be a little bit more patient. I think every one of these kids deserve at least 3 years. If you can't do it in 3 solid years like Sky, now you've got something. Like, I won't have your back after 3 to 4 years. Like, come on now. Like, your rookie contract's done, you're done if you can't figure it out. But Kingsley, I'm not going to go there yet. I think he's not played the position enough. And I thought, like, as much as people wanted to cry about Caliendo actually scored really high. He was one of the second, third, fourth highest guys scored.
But, I did see Caliendo grouped in with Kingsley, too. It's like they both suck. And it's just like, guys, you got to watch the tape and actually pay attention.
Well, I mean, look, compared to Joe Tooney,
come on.
They're not going to be a Joe Tooney. I'm sorry.
Right.
But we can't afford to pay all 5 offensive line positions top dollar. You just can't.
Correct. And I don't think you can give a really good valuation of Kingsley at left guard until probably almost mid-season. You got to give him time to get in there and learn the position.
Man, we said that about
comfortable.
We said that about Simmons as well. It's going to take till at least week 7, week 8 before you really know what you got. If they're still struggling by then, well, yeah, you might want to make a change. But I'm going to be very blunt. Right. Andy Reid's change is going to be Caliendo. So which one who do you prefer?
Right. Well, I think without getting too deep into it or like too technical, I think if you just watch the first drive or two and see those two working in tandem, Kingsley and Josh Simmons, I do feel like it's a positive feeling, right? Like, I feel like they held down the left side better and more consistent than we've seen it in a little while, and this is just getting started.
Right.
Like, they're just getting started.
Yeah, Kingsley's like the common denominator there because last year he started at left tackle and now it's left guard. So last year he would have been right next to all-pro, all-world Joe Tooney. They looked more shaky last year than they did this time with Simmons. And I know Mahomes only played one 3 or 4 play drive, and it wasn't that crazy. He had one pass. Well, he did have another pass, too, where they got the PI. So, I mean, it don't count in the stat sheet, but they held up on that one, too. It looked pretty good. I feel good about it. You can't be great. Like, we can't just be like, well, hang the banner, it's over with. They looked awesome because they played 11 snaps in the preseason. But I think what you could see is that there's enough going forward that they're just going to build on this. You got to keep stacking days. This is the time of year to stack days. I don't think anybody should be down on them.
we're talking two guys that are playing their respective positions for the first time, essentially, in the NFL. Like you said, Kingsley played a little bit of guard in the Denver Broncos game last year. I think it was the last game we played, right? But, I mean, essentially it's just these two learning to work together, to do everything all from scratch. You can't expect them to be all pro right off the rip. So you got to have some patience with these guys and just see how it progresses. Now, if you get to a point to where it's bad and it's not getting any better, then you can hit the panic button. But I don't think anything that happens in the first 8 games of the season, unless it's just outright terrible, I don't think anybody should be panicking. I actually think that I'm excited about how this left side's shaping up. Because they're both young, they're both really strong guys, and I think they can both do it. So I think it's going to be cool.
Yeah, last night people were wanting us to rate the rookies based on how they were, a grading scale, and we just kind of didn't do it because we didn't feel comfortable. After the rewatch, go for it. I mean, Kingsley's not a rookie per se, but what would you have rated Kingsley last night on an A to an F scale?
I mean, honestly, it's like small sample size, right? And then
these are all small sample sizes.
There were some obvious mistakes there. There were mistakes that I mean, that's the thing. Like a lot of people want to be like, well, he got blown up. Well, he did trip. Then he got blown up by that guy in the clip that you showed.
Yeah, that was a bad rep.
He kind of played the wrong assignment and then got behind. So if that wouldn't have happened, he probably wouldn't have got decked by that DB or whatever it was. So it's like it's him learning the position and doing the right things. So I would probably give him a C+ to a B-. I think that it was solid, but I think he's got a lot to build on there, which I think people should be excited about because he's only going to get better as time goes on and the more time he gets there. So I'd say C+, B-, somewhere in that range.
Right. I'm right there with you. I'm going to say just a solid C. I think he could be better. He could have been a lot worse. I'll give him a solid C. And then I know he's not a rookie, but going on to Josh Simmons, our first-round pick, we talked about him. I'll grade him. I think Simmons played a heck of a game. Like I said, he only played 11 snaps or whatever. It was a very small sample size, but he held his own. He looked pretty good. I'm going to give him a solid A-, maybe a B+.
Is fine, right?
Yeah, somewhere in that range. I think he earned that, but he's not perfect either. We can't just put him in Canton already, like I'm seeing people do, but because he's still going to have his struggles. Just being real, he's going to have his struggles, but he looked okay last night.
Right. Well, let's move on to the third pick there, Ashton Gillotte. I went back and watched his reps. He didn't do anything spectacular, but he does things he's got that energy, bro. When you watch him play, he almost brings that Pacheco-style energy to the defensive side of the football. So I really enjoy watching the kid play. He's got a lot to build on. He's got a long way to go. Like, I don't think he's going to come out there and wreck the world in his rookie season. But I did like what I saw from him. I don't think he did anything terribly. I don't think he did anything spectacular. So I'd have him around that B- as well.
Yeah, Gillotte was one of the guys I didn't really get to look at too much. But I will say from everything that I have seen so far, because people have been clipping it, people's been showing, this and that, and even watching it last night, I thought when I watched him on the field, he seemed to always be hustling. He seemed to be going after it, high motor. We always said this. He's George Karlaftis part 2. Right. He's faster. There's that. But I think he's going to be just fine. I think he showed last night enough that I do think before it's all said and done, Spags will end up finding a way to get him into the rotation in some key situations. Right. I think he will earn that before the year's over. I really like Ashton Gillotte.
I think he's very George Karlaftis-esque, right? And then I accidentally skipped Omar Norman Lott. So let's talk about him. Obviously, both defensive line there. So let's talk about that for a minute. I thought Omar Norman Lott did pretty well last night. I like what I see about him. One thing that I did see that I'm not particularly excited about, though, Mike, and I'll let you kind of take this. It looked like to me that he's put on some weight. He looks bigger than we thought. And I don't like the way they're almost moving him in to play as like a nose and play the run. Because I thought we were getting Omar Norman Lott because of the quick first step and the pressure he could put on a quarterback, much like Turk Wharton, but maybe at a higher level, somebody to go beside Chris Jones and wreck. And I feel like he was getting used more for run stopping. And I thought that was a little odd. And that's not him. That's just the scheme itself. That's whatever Spags is going with or whoever. What did you think about that? Because I thought that was an odd thing.
Yeah, it looked like he's put on maybe 15, 20 pounds minimum. But I'm with you. We thought he was going to be like the defensive tackle, the Turk Wharton style, and we thought that we were going to need to maybe draft somebody to come in behind Mike Pennell. And it looks like they're trying to maybe do a little both with it. I don't know per se. I do think it's a little weird that the Chiefs tend to do this a lot. They did it with Rashee Rice. They've done it with Sky Moore. They'll take these guys. They draft them a little early. And again, I don't think Omar Norman-Lott was that early. But if you're drafting him that early based on you want to turn this kid into a run-stuffing guy, like that was his one knock in college was the kid couldn't play the run. Now, look, it's because he didn't get a lot of snaps because Tennessee played that deep, defensive line rotation. But that was the one thing that they said he could not do well.
Right.
And it's like, why would the Chiefs do this? Like, you could have drafted C.J. West out of Indiana, or there was plenty of run stuffers in there that people liked. You could have drafted Farmer out of Florida State. That kid could do it. There were plenty of those. So it doesn't make any sense that you would draft Omar Norman-Lott, who everybody said didn't play the run enough, can't play the run, and you loved him for being in the backfield and to have that burst, and then you're going to put weight on him and put him in weird positions. To me, it almost looks like maybe he's not gaining as much weight as we think, kind of like the opposite of the Kelsey thing. Like maybe he just looks bigger for some reason. Like maybe the
Bigger
TV added a few
maybe.
pounds.
Yeah, right.
But maybe they just want to test him out to see if he can play that role.
Right.
Or if they're going to have to keep somebody else on the roster to do it, and maybe by the end of the preseason, he's back to just being the disruptor. That's a possibility too.
Right.
We don't know what Spags was actually thinking.
Exactly. Once again, small sample size, but I will say if they do try to go that route with Omar Norman-Lott and don't let him do what he does, which is get pressure on the quarterback. He's got one of the quickest first steps we've ever seen if you go back and watch the Senior Bowl and stuff. I think that would be a huge miss by the coaching staff there, and I don't like it. So I would definitely like to see them kind of move back towards that a little bit. If they want to test the waters there and see what he can do in run situations, I'm all for it because I understand there wasn't a whole lot of tape on that from Tennessee. So if they want to see it, then that's cool with me.
Yeah.
But I think you have to leave him as a pass rush specialist. That's what he does.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he shouldn't be in there to play the run. Like, he needs to be able to play the run in the NFL. Like, you have to do it. But my thing is, I graded this kid as a second-round pick, borderline first round. I had him a top 50 player. That was based on getting after the quarterback, getting in the backfield quickly, being a disruptor. If you're going to change him and do this, I'm sorry, but that was the wrong pick right there, and that he's going to turn out to be a bust, and people's going to be all over him by mid-season. You're going to have Chiefs Kingdom have the pitchforks out, and then they're going to come tell me I was wrong about Omar Norman-Lott. That's not the Omar Norman-Lott I signed up for, fellas. That's That's like saying, we drafted a quarterback in round one. We're going to play him at tight end. And then when he stinks, everybody's going to come after you.
Maybe not that, but maybe if it's like, we drafted Brashard Smith, but you know what? We're just going to run him dead up the middle like a Derrick Henry over and over.
We're going to move him to fullback over here.
Yeah.
Like that's not the Omar Norman-Lott that I seen that I rated a top 50 player. I rated the guy that disrupts quarterbacks. If this is the guy we're getting, Spags and them are going to whiff on this one.
I highly doubt they're going to go that route, but we'll see. We'll see. A little nervous about it after what I saw. I just thought I'd bring it up. But a two-bomb here from Rome Stamo. I don't know, but I know this name. He changes his name. I know the profile picture, and I'm having a hard time remembering.
I think
his name was even horned up for a little while. Is it Scott, maybe? I think it's Scott. But he says, let's freaking go, boys. It's redemption season. It absolutely is, and I'm really excited about the product that they're putting on the field. Now, we'll get to see what the final product is after the preseason's over. They cut the guys down to 53, but super excited about what Patrick Mahomes has to work with this year. I think it's the best offense. Weapon-wise, just wide receiver room caliber is a notch higher than it ever has been. The tight ends are looking good. I think that this could be a fun year for the offense, so I'm pretty excited about it too.
I am too, Steve. That's a perfect segue to get into our round 4 pick. Jalen Royals. Royals had 3 catches last night. Shout out Peter, member for 9 months.
Let's go, baby.
He says, hello, ACU fans. Man, let's talk about Royals a little bit. I think Royals, look, there was some people on X today, and they were throwing out the idea that, we don't know if Royals is going to make the team. Where does that come from? You can't have a guy that you take in the 4th round.
I knew whatever you were about to say was stupid because you started with some people on X.
Right.
Like, hey, if you're watching on X, don't take this the wrong way, but the majority of that entire platform is the biggest bunch of slapnuts on the planet. Like, it's just I'm
convinced that social media is literally just for people to see something and just find something wrong with it and try to argue it. Like,
Well,
that's just all it is.
X is weird too because a lot of it is just like anonymous profiles and like just
Yeah.
people that their lives are miserable, so they want to go take it out on everybody
Well,
else on
look,
the internet.
You've got to be really miserable to think Jalen Royals isn't making this team. You don't
no, that's just
spend a
stupid.
4th round pick and have somebody with his talent and say that he's on the bubble.
Right.
It's
and if
not
there's
happening.
one thing that I can point out about last night, Jalen Royals didn't do anything spectacular. He had a couple of good receptions here and there. He also got blown up in a screen pass that wasn't his fault. There's a couple little things there, but one thing that I did notice is they wanted the ball in his hands. They were trying to get him the ball because they want to see what he can do with it. And yes, exactly. That's what he does. He's a guy you want a quick strike to and let him get yards after the catch. He's just like Rashee Rice, guys. And we know that you've compared him to Jamar Chase at the very top of what you saw of Jalen Royals' tape, and then a lot of other people did so as well. That's the type of guy he is. Get him the ball in a slant, get him the ball here quick, and let him just tear the defense up because he'll leave them standing still. But you got to get him in space. I think that's what they were trying to do last night. They weren't successful per se, but you can't look at how they tried to get him the ball so much and then turn around and tell me he's not going to be on the team. That makes no sense.
He's on right now, and look, I'm going to say he's wide receiver 5. Does that mean he's worse than Juju? No. Does that mean that he's going to play less snaps than Juju? Maybe not. But I'm still counting Juju as wide receiver 4. I'm sorry, he's just wide receiver 4. That's the way I'm saying it. He's still wide receiver 5, and he's a lock. All 5 of them are locks. Are the Chiefs going 6? Are they going 7? Something tells me they don't go 8 unless you start with Rashee Rice on the IR pup or whatever that's called, like when the suspension list. Right. But we don't know the NFL is going to suspend him before the season. So Andy Reid may not have that luxury.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Shout out KT Lee, been a member for 21 months now, says, did Omar Norman Lott miss some of camp? I don't think he did.
He had a lower ankle injury on the first play of pads.
Is that what it was?
He's been fighting through like an ankle or something. I was actually impressed that he was out there playing. There was even one play where he run down a play.
Any time though, really.
He did well. He come in and out of the game, like he was in and out of practice for a few times. I don't know if he actually missed the next day, but he's been playing on a sore limb. I mean, big guys playing on sore ankles. We've done that before. That's not easy to carry around, a couple 100 pounds on some sore ankles. You could see him last night, Steve. He chased down. I want to say he was chasing down one of the quarterbacks, Brissett maybe, and he ran him down to the sideline because Omar Norman Lott's got that engine to him, just like Gillotte. He had it all the way back at Arizona State even. He looked like he was hurt a little bit. Like he looked to me like there was a grimace on his face and he wasn't moving right. So that could be another thing with Omar Norman Lott as well. Maybe he's still recovering from that. Like we don't know how these guys feel. We watch them on tape, but we don't know their bodies. We don't know the training room, all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to be that harsh on the first time the kid puts on an NFL uniform and plays, 15 snaps. I'm just not going to do it.
Right, for sure. Well, talking about Omar Norman Lott, let's grade his performance from last night. I think he stays in the same there, just kind of right in the middle. A C.
Yeah, he's just in the. Steve, if they're going to use him as that, though, I'm sorry to say, but they're going to whiff.
Yeah, that's the thing. Let's go ahead and mark this down. We're going to stand tall here, just to tell everybody right off the rip, right after the first preseason game. This is our take on this. Like, if you try to turn Omar Norman Lott into Derek Nottie, you are a slap nut. Like, we're not doing this.
You're missing that one.
Yeah, you're missing because this kid is a pass rusher, and that's what you want him for. That's why you drafted him. So let's hope they don't continue to go that route. But we already talked about Ashton Gillotte. We talked about Jalen Royals a little bit. Do you want to go ahead and grade Jalen Royals too?
Yeah, let's grade Royals. I'm going to give Jalen Royals a B. He could have done more, but at the same time, he wasn't playing with the first team. He wasn't playing with Mahomes. I thought the way they tried to get him the ball leads me to believe that Andy thinks he should be doing that. It exudes some confidence that he knows the playbook well, and I thought he'd done everything he should have done. I think he maybe led the team in targets or receptions or something like that. I read that stat earlier. I think Charles Goldman threw something out, and I just clicked it, but I can't remember it. I don't have the photographic memory working today. But I thought he done well, man. I give him a B, B+, somewhere in that range. Could he be a lot better? Absolutely. Could he have been way worse? Absolutely. But I think he had a pretty solid – it's something to build off of. For
sure. I thought the route running looked pretty good, and he caught the balls that were thrown his way. So that's what you want from a rookie, right?
Yeah.
As long as you're doing the basics, then I'm excited about that. So I'm right there with you. Mike, let's talk about the next draft pick, and this one might have had the most impressive performance of the night. and that was Jeffrey Bassa at linebacker.
Skip Noel.
Oh, Noel Williams. Why do I keep skipping everybody?
Don't skip Noel.
Let's go.
You
Let's
skip
go Noel
every other
Williams.
pick.
But you know what? Noel Williams was also equally as impressive.
Oh, yeah. Bassa and Noel Williams you can lump together because those two very much surprised me.
Absolutely. We'll probably talk a lot more about Bassa and Noel Williams on the podcast. It'll be dropped on Tuesday.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
Be on the lookout for that one. But yeah, let's talk about Noel Williams. So Noel Williams is a guy that as soon as he got drafted, we're like, I think you can tell they're trying to get guys that turn the ball over. This is a ball hawk type player. We compared him to Marcus Peters, sort of, something like that. Noel Williams kind of lived up to it last night. He was where he needed to be at all times, had a good pass breakup, and then he also showed you he's a returner. He can punt return, and he's good at it. He's a good special teamer, so I think Noel Williams is pretty well-rounded. And then we also had a really bad night from Nazeeh Johnson, which bodes well for Noel Williams.
Yeah.
So, and I'll go ahead and throw this out there. Josh Williams had a pretty good game last night, too.
Do you know who was the number one rated Chief last night per PFF in rating?
Josh Williams.
Josh Williams, ladies and gentlemen.
He played good.
If Spags does not get this kid out of the doghouse and end this Nazeeh Johnson experiment, and look, here's what I'll say about Nazeeh. He stunk playing DB, but the kid made a few really good special teams plays.
He's
and that's
good at
all
special
he
teams.
is.
He's good at special teams.
Exactly. And this is the only reason that I feel like a roster spot is going to be there for Nazeeh. But look, you've got to stop the experiment with the DB stuff.
For sure. I think that it's pretty obvious that Josh Williams is better than him. And I would go out on another limb and say just from the sample size we saw last night and what I've seen in the college tape, Noel Williams is a better cornerback than Nazeeh Johnson as well.
Absolutely. You know what I would do with Nazeeh Johnson? I'd keep him on the team. One more year. I'd keep him on the team. I'm moving him back to safety. I think if he keeps people in front of him, because think about it, a special teams player, you're coming down the field, you're dodging through traffic, you're getting in there, you're laying the wood on somebody, you're making a play. A safety does that. You sit back, you watch the play develop. If it's a run, you get through traffic, you go get him. I would move him back to his natural position of safety and get rid of this corner stuff. And then if he can't play safety, look, we lost Deion Bush. Prayers for Deion Bush, but that Achilles, he's done for the year. You know, I don't know if he's better than Major Williams. I don't know if he's better than Glendon Miller. I don't know if he could have done worse than Mike Edwards last night. Again, Mike Edwards might have been on the crappy list. But again, I'm with you. Mike Edwards is probably making the team based on his full NFL repertoire here. But I think I would try him back at safety. And if he can't do that, I may have to give up on it. But I think just being a pure cover corner, I don't think Nazeeh's it.
I don't either. But we're talking about Noel Williams. So we'll talk about him a little bit more. I thought the kid looked good. He's exactly what he was advertised as. And I would probably grade him. Of course, there's room to grow and like small sample size, everything like that. But I would still put him in that B category easily. I thought that he was better than average last night.
Yeah.
And, there's room to grow there. So I really liked what I saw from Noel Williams.
I'm going a little higher, Steve. I'm going to go A- because I love the special team prowess.
I'm okay with it. Okay. I'll agree with you on that one.
I love that special team prowess. The way he put that dude into next week. His grandma felt that hit. and shout out Matt Ariza. Like, we seen why they got rid of Eddie Czaplisky because Ariza may have figured it out. He may have had that golden, Happy learned how to punt. He had that moment.
Matt Ariza has always been able to kick the ball a country mile. He just has no touch.
He's got to get that touch, man. And I'm telling you, last night he showed a little bit of touch. But, dude, that boot he had where Noel Williams laid the wood on that kid, dude, Noel Williams looked good. That PBU in the end zone on that little fade route was magnificent. Right. I am excited to see what Noel Williams can bring.
Hell yeah, baby. We got a gifted membership from Raynard Francis. Let's freaking go, baby. Round of applause.
Let's go, Raynard.
If you got that membership, make sure to thank him in the chat. Appreciate the support, brother. And then we got Julia Gulia down here saying, I want to talk about Jeffrey Bassa. Well, guess what? We're going to talk about Jeffrey Bassa. So
let's talk a little Bassa.
Much like Noel Williams, I think Jeffrey Bassa is somebody that just wants to hit people, baby. He's going to bring it. He's going to bring it at all times, and he's flying around the field, brother. He's so fast, and he's hitting hard. Jeffrey Bassa is a smart guy, too. That's where a lot of people, they kind of forget about things that are not just physicality, right? But Jeffrey Bassa is that green dot from Oregon. It's who Spags has on his hip, because he wants him to learn all the positions of all the linebackers. And he could kind of be a guy that comes in behind Nick Bolton if they were to ever move on from him. They could just take over and run that defense. So I think there's a lot of good to talk about with Jeffrey Bassa, and the performance last night was freaking phenomenal. Like, he's an A for me easily. I thought he was right there with Noah Williams, if not even more exciting.
Yeah, I'm not worried about moving on from Nick Bolton. I think he's going to be the Drew Tranquil replacement.
Well, that's what I'm thinking too. I think that's exactly what he's going to be.
And look, I've told this story time and time again, but during the draft, he got overlooked. Like, I don't know how Bassa fell that far. I thought Bassa was going to be a round 2, round 3 pick. And I've told this story too. Mike Vrabel loved him. I thought the Patriots were going to take this kid in the 2nd or 3rd round. And something happened that they just kept finding players on their board a little higher. And he fell right into the Chiefs' lap. And Steve, Bassa was a pick that we loved, but it wasn't sexy. Like, it wasn't the Simmons pick. It wasn't the Royals pick. It wasn't the Brashard Smith in round 7 that everybody loved. Bassa kind of got the overlook. And we kept telling people all the offseason and rookie camp, he's in Spags' back pocket. This kid's going to be good. He's going to fly around. And everybody kept saying, well, wait till the pads come on. Everybody looks good in college. Everybody does this. Are you guys a little impressed now? Because that kid was like a heat-seeking missile last night, man. He could flat out fly around the field, dude.
I think for people that don't dive into the draft picks very much, or people that don't study the tape and go that deep into it, Jeffrey Bassa just wasn't a name that was on everybody's tongue. Like, even Brashard Smith is a 7th-round draft pick. People have been talking about him, right? Like, oh, this running back that used to be a receiver.
Steve, you don't think of Oregon defenders. Like, you think of Oregon for high-powered offensive guys. You don't even think of defenders, right?
Right, but Bassa was definitely an under-the-radar guy. We loved him pre-draft. We loved it post-draft. I think he's exactly what we need. And like you said, Drew Tranquil's probably going to be the guy that'll be out and he's in. They're very similar if you really think about it. They play a very similar style. They're both converted safeties to linebacker. They're both good in coverage. They both like 100%. To hit.
They can both be the green dot.
Exactly. That's the thing. Nick Bolton, what you have to remember, and kind of why I was bringing that up earlier with Jeffrey Bassa as being the green dot and being able to take over that role. As much as I love Nick Bolton, he's had a couple long injuries where people have had to fill in for him. We've seen Jack Cochran do it. We've seen Drew Tranquil do it. So if you got a guy that's going to take Drew's spot, you want him to be able to play Nick Bolton's spot as well. So, and I think Jeffrey Bassa's that guy.
Yeah. Look, I like Bassa. I thought he looked good yesterday. That blitz where he come up the middle and just laid the wood on Brissett. He had that one where he come through and just stuffed that run on 3rd down. I think the kid's going to be good. He plays with a little bit of reckless abandon. I like him. I give Bassa a solid A minus right in that category. I thought Bassa looked great.
Very, very fun to watch, I'll say. Jay Freezy, been a member for 5 months out now, says, time to destroy everybody all season and laugh in their faces when they spew the same old clown ref BS. Revenge tour is coming. I'd just like to point out that the referees were complete ass last night in favor of the Cardinals. So, last night was a prime example of why all those people that say the Chiefs get all the calls are slap nuts. They don't pay attention because it was bad. It was pretty damn bad.
Do you get the sense that the NFL – look, it got to the point last year where the NFL's own commentators, the Gene Steratore, they were coming in and making –
that, right?
Yeah, they were making such a big deal over this. I feel like the NFL now – look, the NFL knows deep down. The officials know deep down. There was no favoritism to the Chiefs, but this is the loser mentality. But here's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid all that pressure is going to cause the NFL to try to overcompensate and start ripping our ass.
Isn't that the point?
Every time.
Isn't that the point of the crowd
why they're
that's been
complaining?
crying?
They
That's
want
exactly
the
what
Chiefs
it
to
is.
get it, man.
It's exactly what it is. That's why they started it to begin with.
Yeah.
Anything to cry about.
This is the team. This is the same Chiefs team that apparently gets all the calls that had to deal with a playoff game where Derek Johnson destroys Mariota and they call forward progress on a sack. Have we ever seen that before?
It's one of the worst calls ever.
That's what I'm trying to say.
And also, no one can remember Julian Edelman muffing a punt and us having the game under wraps and them just changing it.
That's what I'm saying.
To overturn the call, there had to be inconclusive evidence. And on the evidence, you could see his finger move from hitting the ball, and they still overturned it.
Steve, Julian Edelman will tell you right now that he touched that ball. He would lie. But if you got him by himself, he'd tell you he touched it.
And that's not to mention that it got even worse with the Chris Jones roughing the passer where he did not touch Tom Brady.
Yeah. It's just one of those things, man. I'm with you. People are complaining enough that I'm afraid the NFL may try to overcorrect it this year, and we may be on the short end of a lot of bad sticks here.
Let's hope not. But that's the reason why this offense has got to get more high-powered because we cannot have as many close games as last year.
No close games
or they
anymore.
will stick it to us. You know,
Yeah.
that's true. Jay Freezy also with the 5 bomb says only one position I'm worried about, and it's safety. I think it's a major liability right now. Do you think Veach and the staff see this, and do they sign Simmons? So I've seen this a lot too. A lot of guys like, hey, Simmons is still available. Let's go get him.
Yeah.
I think that you're right about this somewhat. And Mike, you brought this up a long time ago.
I've been on this for how long?
Since
Probably like
Justin Reed had to move
Yeah.
on, right? Well, we knew Justin Reed was going to move on. We already knew that. They
Yeah.
weren't going to be able to pay him. Brian Cook's got to step it up this year. They went and got the veteran presence with Mike Edwards. He also was here prior, so he knows the defense, won a Super Bowl with this team. They like him back there because he flies around. He's always by the ball. He's a ball hawk, but he's also very apt to get burned, like you pointed out last night. So if you look at the other guys that they have back there, you just saw Deion Bush, who's a guy that's been around for a minute now. He's done for the season.
Yeah.
You got Major Williams, Glendon Miller. You got Jamari Connor that can play some safety. I feel like I'm missing an obvious one, so you're going to have to just blurt it out. But
Jaden Hicks.
Jaden Hicks, there we go. Jaden Hicks was phenomenal last night.
Yeah, I mean, we all know Jaden Hicks is making the roster. That kid's going to be special.
Yeah, he's Honey Badger literally retired this year so he could pass that baton over to Jaden Hicks, guys. I'd just like everybody to know that. That's exactly what happened there. But yeah, I think that if there's any big weakness, it might be safety, right?
Safety's the definite weakness. I've been on this for a while. It's not a surprise to me. I thought pass rush and safety is your two biggest. I've been saying this since April.
Right.
That's why I wanted to go get an Omar Norman Lott. That's why I wanted him, because I wanted him to get after the pass rush. The quarterback for our pass rush, and it's like it looks like they're going to use him in a totally different way, which is weird. Okay, but I said we maybe need to go get a safety. We maybe need to do something else there. Look, I think Glendon Miller can play. He played at Maryland. He's okay. Yeah, I like Glendon Miller too, but I don't know if I trust him. You've got Christian Roland Wallace.
Yet.
No,
Right.
You've got Roland Wallace who can play a little bit of safety. Yeah. Again, I think you maybe tried Nazeeh Johnson back there.
I think so too.
I think maybe that's something to do.
Is that not the solution? I think you're right about that.
Yeah, maybe put Nazeeh back there and just see what he can do. He can't be no worse.
So the other thing here, though, Mike, I didn't mean to cut you off, but the other part of this question was, should we sign Justin Simmons? And here's my thing. I don't think it's necessary, but I'd be okay with it just to have the guy that picks off Patrick Mahomes every time we ever play him on our team.
Yeah, maybe he can give Mahomes some pointers as to what he sees every time.
Hey, buddy, here's what you're doing. This is why I pick you off every time I play you.
Yeah, look, Simmons is intriguing. He's a little older. I don't know what he's
a little bit too, right?
Yeah, I don't know what he would sign for. He may sign for cheaper. He says he's being selective, but that usually is like the McCole Hardman thing, where he's not really being selective. People just don't really want him. It's one of those things. But look, I'll say this, man. I think that sorry, man, my back hurts a little bit sitting in this weird chair. But I'll say this. I think safety, if it were me, I'm going to let Jamari Connor play with it a little bit because he could play safety. I'm going to maybe let Nazeeh play with it just a little bit as well to see what he's got.
But the bulk of the snaps are going to be the first
It's going to be,
right?
Yeah, it's going to be Cook. It's going to be, Jaden Hicks.
And Edwards.
Probably, Edwards right now. Yeah. But the one guy that I think's got a real shot here is Major Williams. He's a ball hawk. They love him. They signed him after he had his rookie tryout. I think that kid could be a dark horse here in the next few weeks.
That's my thing.
He's somebody to watch here over the next week now that Deion Bush is out.
Well, I've brought this up several times too, and you've said the same word several times tonight, ball hawk. Literally all the players, even the veteran they went and got just to bring back over, Mike Edwards, that's what he does. This team is trying to put a focus on turning the ball over. Because we've always lost the turnover battle. We always do. And somehow we've still been in the Super Bowl every freaking year. If we could somehow figure out how to win that turnover battle all the time, games could get a lot better for us fans. Maybe we wouldn't sit around with blood pressure through the roof and anxiety all the time. Like, if we could just win that turnover battle, that could be a huge thing for this team, on top of the offense getting more firepower. So I just wanted to point that out.
Right.
But, yeah, man, safety room, I think I'm not super worried. I'm not super worried.
Right.
But I think there is some concern there, Jay Freezy, for sure.
Yeah, I appreciate the 5 too. And I didn't say whether or not I think we should sign him, but I wouldn't be super opposed with it.
Right. Same. Got a 25 bomb from Peter Ortiz, baby. Let's go, Peter. Peter's in the house.
Big Pete.
I haven't seen you in a minute, Peter. Hope you've been doing okay, buddy. He says, listen up, people. Hit that like button or sit your ass on the bench. I like it.
That's winner mentality.
That is winner mentality right there. Let's take a look at the likes here. We got 84. 84. We need
Let's get
that
to
as
100
close
really quick. Come on.
100 quick, but we want that as close to 150 as we can get it. So if you haven't hit the like button, just go hit the like button. Just takes a minute. Shout out Peter with the 25 bomb, though. You're freaking awesome, brother. Thank you so much. And then we got a 10 bomb from a girl, Valerie.
Valerie.
Says, yay. So excited. Football season is finally here. Can't wait to see all of our new talent. 100%, man. I think this season's – okay, last season was exciting because you're like, oh, they're going for a three-peat.
Right. But couldn't you sense there was going to be some pressure?
Well, yeah, that, and then all the injuries and everything. It just kind of was an odd year. This season, with all the new pieces we got and all this young talent.
It feels fresh.
Dude,
it feels fun.
It does, especially when you saw Xavier Worthy turn out to be what Xavier Worthy is.
Woo.
And then you're getting Rushy Rice back too. Bro, I don't know. It's super exciting. It's super exciting.
When our wide receiver room we're talking about 9 deep.
Dare I say horny?
Are you may say horny?
Are you football horny?
Man, so horned on another level.
Let's go. Appreciate the 10, Valerie. We got KT with the 2 bombs. Says Jalen Watson injuries are getting concerning. This is something else I wanted to talk about. I'm glad that, I kind of forgot. I was going to bring this up a minute ago. So he brought it back to me. Thank you, KT, for keeping me in line.
KT keeping you in
But
check,
here's what I would like to point out. We're talking about Josh Williams and Najee Johnson. I think the real conversation is Josh Williams better than Jalen Watson?
Ooh, that's a hot take, huh?
Like, I think that they play very similarly. I think that they play at a similar level. And Josh Williams don't get hurt every other day like Jalen Watson. And
now that you said that, you're going to curse him.
And here we are comparing him to Najee Johnson, who couldn't stop a Pee Wee football team from throwing the football. So I just feel like it's weird, and I know why we're doing it, because Spags would not put Josh on the field last year. I get it. And we don't know why. No one knows why. But I think, honestly, if you look at the abilities of these guys, Josh Williams is right there with Jalen Watson. Like, we shouldn't even be talking about him versus Najee Johnson. I think Johnson's obviously on the out.
He was drafted literally 3 rounds ahead of Jalen Watson. Like, they seen something in Josh Williams, and he's got all these intangibles. Again, if you watched our show with Bro Schmo, he does a lot of draft content. He thought Josh Williams was a steal for us in the draft, and he doesn't understand why he doesn't get to play. Yeah. And a lot of people they come back and say, look, he's not in the right position. He don't know the playbook. I think that's just guessing at this point. Now, look, you could say he makes a lot of weird penalties. Yes, on special teams. We've said this time and time again, but special teams has nothing to do with playing that DB position.
I mean, honestly, I don't think anyone here can say without sounding like a hypocrite that they care that much that a DB gets some penalties here and there. Because we loved L'Jarius Sneed. Everybody in Chiefs Kingdom loved L'Jarius Sneed.
And he led.
And he was the league-leading penalty guy in the entire league. Like, what are we talking about?
Right.
Like, we can't, in the same breath, say, well, he'll get too many penalties. What are you talking about?
Right.
I'm not worried about that. I want to see more Josh Williams out there. And then if his play doesn't speak for itself, then we'll talk about it. But until then, I have to be on his team.
Man, here's what I'm going to say. Is he better than Jalen Watson? I don't think so at this point. Jalen Watson proved that he is very valuable. Yes, but you're right.
Course,
we do not know. Because he doesn't get to play. There's not a big enough sample size.
Well, Mike, you brought this up last year. He had just as many snaps as Jalen Watson did last year. Because
they
injuries,
had right around the same amount of snaps, and he was comparable. He actually gave up less yards on the same amount of receptions. So I think Watson gave up over 100 extra yards than Josh Williams did on the same. I think they allowed 20 receptions each. So he's right there with him. Yep. So I don't know.
So. I think that's a real conversation to have, for real. I do. Appreciate the 2, KT, and then our boy Chris Wright in the house with the 2 bomb, baby.
Steve, says, you're going to fight with Chris Wright right now, I believe.
I'm not a fight with him. You could have that opinion, I guess. I just don't know what anyone saw last night that made them think Kingsley's got off.
Beyond that one play, this is the only play I can figure out. I'll play it.
Look, I respect Chris, and I think he knows what he's talking about most of the time. So I would really like to hear why he thinks this. I would like to hear that.
This is the worst play.
Yeah, and what was it? He screwed up right off the rip.
Well,
it was just a bad. It was a bad snap.
Number 2. I'm not for sure who number 2 is. Is he a linebacker or is he? I don't know what he is. But let's just watch this again.
Number 2 is a cornerback. I'm almost positive.
Well, look, he comes late. He timed his blitz pretty well, and I don't think that
linebacker.
I don't think the protection got called out to Kingsley. So Kingsley's assignment was to double,
Yep.
And then he seen him come at the last second, and he got caught
so
off
that
guard.
could very much be on Gardner Minshew just as much as Kingsley. There.
Exactly, and this is why we can't really be too critical about that.
And
Now,
then the
look, it
other
very well
play-
could be Kingsley just
Right.
missed it himself.
Of course, but I'm expecting him to have a learning curve. I'm just expecting that. And then also the other play people like to bring up where he got blown up. It was literally, if you go back and watch it, Creed was right in under him, left leg was out wide, and he got pushed over it. I mean, anyone on the planet, if they get pushed backwards and you trip over someone's leg,
I wish
you're
I had
falling
that
down.
one on film. I don't know if I do because I've just got the Josh Simmons film, so I don't know if I have that one. But I wish I
think
could
most
see
people
it.
here probably know what I'm talking about. But Chris, not arguing with you on that. I'm not gonna fight with you about it. But I just didn't see where Kingsley's got awful. I thought that he looked like something we could work with. I'm not saying he was great.
I think
last night.
Kingsley showed a lot of athletic ability last night. You
Yes.
got to remember, Steve, you were even calling it out. There was a handoff where he had to get all the way to the right side. That's that zone blocking scheme, and that's what Kingsley is able to do. He's a freak athlete. He was on Bruce Feldman's freak athlete list. He's fast. He's quick. He's athletic. And so, yeah, for sure. But it's just one of those things, man, where I thought there was a lot to work with here. And is he going to be great? I don't know. But I don't think he's bad, at least at this point in time.
Yeah, Doug, if you go back and watch that play, I think you know which one we're talking about. He tripped over Creed. So, I mean, it wasn't like he got blown up on his back. But, yeah, I think
So you're blaming Creed, huh?
I don't know if it was necessarily Creed's fault, but that's what happened.
Right. Those
go
guys,
back
I
and watch
mean, yeah, they start taking those steps, man. You'll start tripping over feet and all kinds of stuff.
The thing with Kingsley is I don't think it's anything physically. I think for him it's more knowing the assignments. Like once he learns it and gets comfortable, I think we'll be okay, guys. I would just say this to Chris, if he was being 100% serious. I don't know if he was now that I saw the piling on thing. But I think I would be more optimistic than just to be thinking he's going to be bad. I think there's a chance that he could be a really good guard. It's just going to take some time.
I would honestly
we
love
won't
to
know
see
until about half the
Kingsley.
season, though.
Wouldn't it just be nice, though, if like in 2 to 3 years, him and Simmons are just like Pro Bowl? What an incredible, just turning
That
a
would be
negative
insane.
into a positive
Yeah.
with that whole Kingsley draft, Steve, we forgot to talk about Brashard Smith, seventh round pick.
I know. I was getting ready to bring it up myself.
Okay, sweet. Let's talk a little bit about Brashard, man.
So Brashard Smith, exciting player, obviously, showed up right off the rip, recovered the fumble on special teams. On the very
Shout
first
out
play of the
Cooper
game.
McDonald for making that too. That kid, if he's going to make the linebacker room, has to play special teams because that's what Jack Cocker and them are known for. And he come out there and gets that first play of the game. Dude, shout out Cooper McDonald.
Right, for sure. And then we got to see a pretty good dose of Brashard Smith as a pass catcher and a runner last night. I think he ran really good routes last night. I would have to go back and look at the box score to see what he actually did in receiving. But I do know that he had 4 or 5 carries for over 10 yards, I think. So we saw a little bit of both, right? But what they're going to use Brashard Smith as is literally a little gadget guy, sort of. I think what everybody wants him to be is a Brian Westbrook, a Darren Sproles type, just something that we know that Andy Reid likes to play with. And I think he can do all those things. I don't know, Mike. I'd have to go back and watch it. Last night I can't say for sure, but did they line him out wide any?
I didn't get to focus on Brashard Smith, so I haven't got a second watch on him. Here's what I'll say about what I do remember about Brashard Smith, though. He played late, so he played behind Carson Steele. He played as that RB5, and Carson Steele actually got carries too. So
Carson looked good too, by the way.
He was being used as a running back. So it was basically like he was RB5 last night. Right. And here's the thing. I think they just know that Brashard Smith's not going anywhere. He doesn't really have a lot to prove. They're just going to be patient with him. I think that Carson Steele and Elijah Mitchell's your big battle right there. Like, are they going to be able to take one of those guys? Maybe both. I mean, if you take 5 and put Carson as a fullback, it's possible. And he's done it before. But maybe not. So maybe those two are fighting it out a little bit. And a lot of people like Carson Steele. A lot of people don't. A lot of people think Elijah Mitchell could be a game changer. A lot of people think he looked slow last night. It is what it is. I thought Elijah Mitchell done okay. I thought Brashard Smith looked okay when he was in there.
Right. I do remember the
not
reception
mistaken,
he had. was, I think, a blown screen. Like, I think he went for negative.
Yeah.
yards.
If I'm not mistaken, I
On
don't
his
think
one
Brian
reception.
Westbrook was Brian Westbrook his first year, was he? Like, I don't think he was the guy we all thought his rookie season. I'm not 100%
Well, I mean,
for
we're
sure of
talking
that.
about a guy. Yes, we kind of graded him around the 5th round, but we're still talking around about a 7th round draft pick. They can't all come in and be just game stoppers immediately.
I like Brashard Smith, though. I do think he translates to the NFL.
He translates to an Andy Reid offense for sure.
Yes, especially for Andy Reid. He translates. So I'm not worried about him.
For sure. I would probably give him a C minus, something like that, like something right in the middle. He's got a lot of work to do. He's got a lot to learn, and he's got a lot left to prove.
I will say this: he had a nice pass pro rep last night. He looked pretty good. So I haven't really got to dig in on him. I'm excited to dig in on him.
That's one of the big things with him, right? He's got to be good at the pass blocking. Has to be. That's what got Carson Steele's ass benched last year. People can talk about those 2 fumbles all you want, but he got benched because he could not protect Mahomes, and Mahomes had enough of it. He missed so many assignments.
He fumbled in the Falcons game, and then 2 or 3 plays later, he turned around and got blown up, and Mahomes was yelling in his face.
Dude, he went the wrong way on pass pro several times and got Mahomes lit up.
And that's when he
Mahomes
got
actually got up and yelled at him a few times, and then that's when he got the bench.
That's when he got the hook. So,
but Carson Steele did look good last night, by the way. I will bring that up. But I think the running back room is interesting, right? Because we all just assume, like, well, Brashard Smith's going to make the team. And I would think so because of what he has to offer. He's very explosive. You've seen how he does in camp. You get that kid matched up on a linebacker, and it's a wrap. I love the receiving ability. Kid can catch the ball for sure. So I tend to think he's there too. But when you see how Carson Steele played, and you also see that Elijah Mitchell can do some of these things, maybe it's not so 100% concrete that he would be on the roster. What do you think?
You talking about Carson?
Brashard Smith.
Oh, Brashard Smith. I don't know. I think if you put Brashard Smith on the practice squad, he's getting poached. He's got enough talent, so I think they have to try to get him on the roster. He's got to be on that initial 53. Now they can maybe fake an injury and get him on an IR for a few weeks, but what's the point? Because once he comes back, he's got to come back.
Right.
So you're going to have to clear it up that way. So I don't know. Look, to me, I think he's got to make the team. I really do think it comes down between Elijah Mitchell and Carson Steele. Do they want to take 4? Do they want to go ahead and just take the 5? Andy has done this before. I'm telling you, he's taken 5 running backs 2 or 3 times. Right. So it is what it is.
That's also a position a lot of injuries occur. And it's nice to have the guys there because, I mean, over the years, we've seen Clyde miss a lot of time. We've seen Pacheco miss a lot of time. Like, just having those guys there is nothing but a good thing. Plus, Carson Steele can be used as that fullback, which kind of makes...
See, we got Kareem Hunt. He's getting a little older. He's not guaranteed to be healthy all year either.
Right, but I do like Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt's going to be there, and I think he will get quite a bit of usage. Now, what gets intriguing to me, though, if we start talking about taking 5 running backs, one of them being Carson Steele, kind of makes you look over at the tight end room and be like, how many of these are they going to take? And I thought Robert Tonyan, put his flag firmly in the ground last night as, hey, I need to be on this roster. And we know that he can do this at an NFL level if you go back to that season he had with the Packers where he just played phenomenally.
Yeah.
So now we're starting to talk, what are they going to take 4 tight ends? Because obviously Kelsey, Gray, and Wiley are going to be on this roster. So now we start talking about, does Tonyan make it? We don't even know about Brenningstool. Brenningstool's losing bad right now. He's getting left in the dust just because of an injury. But I don't know. If you're taking 5 running backs, especially using Carson as a fullback, can you even take 4?
Right, and we're probably taking 7 wide. You're not taking 6, you're probably taking 7.
Dude,
so
if you don't take 7 wide receivers, you're not going to have Tyquan Thornton on this team.
You know what could be the solution?
Make the team.
Here's what could be the solution here. You may have to take your offensive line, any of them like to take 10. You may have to pull it down to like 9. You may have to save a spot there, okay? And by doing that, you could have guys like Essa Pole that could make he looked pretty good. Yeah. And honestly, I like him a lot better than Wanye. Let's be completely honest. Yeah, Wanye looked like ass last night.
Wanye is not it.
Yeah. So look, if you can get a guy like an Essa Pole or Dalton Cooper that can come in and play multiple spots, Jalen Moore's already going to be a great swing lineman.
Yeah.
So if he's going to be the guy that's the immediate backup, right? So if Esa Pohl can come in and give you any kind of snap, maybe you get Ethan Driscoll on your practice squad. I mean, Wanye probably makes the practice squad. I don't think anybody poaches the kid. He's not that great. So I think you may have to save one there with a couple of these swing guys. And even C.J. Hansen, somebody like that. Like he made the team last year, but there just might not be any room here. And so you may just have to go practice squad with those kids and free up that extra room, because I'm with you. Brenningstool, I don't think gets poached off the practice squad. Chiefs fans love him. They're hyped over him, blah, blah, blah. But I just don't think everybody in the world even knows about Jake Brenningstool. I bet you could say that name to 100 random NFL fans that are not Chiefs fans, and I bet you 2 of them know who Jake Brenningstool is. So I just don't think he's got the hype that people think it is. I don't think he gets poached. They could even put like an injury designation on him just to keep him for the season, like they did Justin Ross that first year.
Right. Well, a lot of people think they might put him on the IR, something like that. I
that's
just don't know.
possible.
I do think he'll end up being a practice squad player. But two points that I would like to make here real quick while we're talking about Wanye Morris. Number one, Wanye is the offensive line equivalent to Najee Johnson. He's a guy that came in, played a lot early. He was okay, but he just isn't it. He's not it. Like, he just can't do the job. We saw that last night. So
I mean, he's much better playing probably right tackle and guard. I honestly think
playing
guards,
right guard last night and looked rough. Brother.
Yeah, it's tough.
So
Norzad is better than him at guard, and
well, Joe
center
Lombard,
guard.
Joe Lombard is
Joe Lombard looks better too
on Norzad, brother, because he does the same thing. He plays center, he plays guard, and he looked really good last night.
Right.
The second point that
maybe
I
they
wanted to
take
bring
both
up,
of them guys and get rid of Wanye.
Maybe the second point I would like to make is that we saw Jalen Moore at right tackle last night. He was decent at times.
He played 17 snaps.
He also struggled a little bit. I think, if anything, what you learned last night was he's going to be your swing guy. There's no way in hell he would ever start at right tackle above Jawan Taylor. It's not going to happen.
If Taylor's healthy, he's playing.
Yeah, it's two different tiers there. Like, Jalen Moore is not a Jawan Taylor. He's just not.
That's so weird to say.
Could he be? Maybe, but he's not right now.
I mean, he's obviously your swing tackle. He's your number one swing tackle, and he could probably kick in and play guard too.
But he's not going to start over Taylor. That was a pipe dream to begin with.
No, they usually take 10 offensive linemen. So if we just do a quick demonstration here, you're going to have Simmons, Kingsley, Creed, Smith, Jawan Taylor. There's 5. Jalen Moore's your swing. I think Hunter Norzad's on the team. That gives you 7. You've got to have another kind of swing tackle.
I think,
and so far, Asa Pohl is better than Wanye.
Asa Pohl looked solid.
And then honestly, I would put Caliendo and probably
he's a man.
I would put probably Caliendo and Joey Lombard is probably my 10 if I go 10.
You also have to remember Ethan Driscoll and Dalton Cooper. Those are 2 guys that can make the squad too.
But they also could probably survive the practice squad as well.
Yeah, rep. It's going to be fun to see what they do with this one.
I think Lombard survives the practice squad.
I'll tell you this. The 53-man roster prediction this year is going to be tough.
Yeah, it really is. Like we hit those pretty solid every year, but I think this year, man, we may be in for it. I feel like
this year, if you just make 2 or 3 little mistakes, it could cost you a big chunk.
Big time. And look, we know by the time it happens, the day of, remember Brett Veach waits to the last damn minute, and then he waits till everybody else gets cut, and then he'll go out and give people like the kid from Arizona last year and put him right on the roster. The kid from Dallas, Eric Scott, put him on the roster. Peyton Hendershot, they just went and got him, put him on the roster. So it was tough to call that last year because they were going out and getting guys that didn't even play a snap.
Right.
The kid from Arizona, the defensive end, I don't even remember his name. Something Jones or Jordan, or what was his name? Cameron?
Oh, you're talking about Cam Thomas.
Cam Thomas. Dude, I remember, no disrespect, Ryan Tracy loved that kid. He thought he was going to be God's gift to the defensive end room.
He didn't even play.
Boy, he didn't even. Well, he liked him coming out of college. And, it was not a good experiment. But I'm not going to say he was wrong. I thought the kid looked good in college, too. And I thought he was a Spags guy, and he just didn't get on the field. Kind of weird.
Yeah. It happens a lot. We'll go get guys. I mean, think about Josh Uche. We didn't think he fit, but they went and got him and didn't even play it.
Yeah, Veach just went and done that on his own. He didn't even ask Spags. He's like,
He just went.
he wanted a
rogue
new
on
shade
that
jersey.
one, huh?
Yeah,
Went
he's like,
crazy
whatever.
on it. That's pretty wild. Appreciate you guys being here tonight, by the way. You guys are awesome. Thanks for all the comments and everything. If you guys don't care, just take a second to hit the like button for us. We're going to be here for a few more minutes, so if you have any last-minute questions, get them in there. We'll kind of let you guys drive for the rest of the night. If you have any questions, we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, highly suggest it. Ride with us for the season. It's going to be a fun season. If you would like to become a member, you can do that at join.allchiefedup.com. It's just $4.99 a month. And you get a lot of members-only content. We've been doing a weekly members-only video, and we have also been doing the monthly members-only live streams where we like to give stuff away. I think we just gave away a Kingsley signed jersey at the last one, and we got a lot of fun stuff coming up. If you guys like players like Jaden Hicks, you might want to get in on this one.
Yeah. Steve, you dropped the video today, right? With Big Bob, Big Blazing Bob.
Blazing Bob, baby, from Buck and Bob. We got him on there. It was his hot seat. Members only video.
He's the last one in the series, right? The series is wrapped. Season 1 with him, I believe.
So we got to have new questions and new guests for the second season of that. I'm excited about that, switching it up a little bit. But if you guys haven't watched that and you're a member, highly suggest you go check that out. It's ready for you. One more thing, we do have a store. We have merchandise. You can see some of it right here, baby. Got the "You're Not Worthy" shirt. You got that on there. We got some Jalen Royals gear. All Chiefed Up shirts, whatever. It's just merch.allchiefedup.com. If you'd like to help support the channel and you'd also like to get something in return, I highly suggest you go over to the store and check that out, merch.allchiefedup.com. You guys are freaking awesome. That was a mouthful, and I appreciate you listening to me. But, Mike, guess
buddy.
what? I hear it rolling in. Do you hear that?
Let's go. Hear that train, baby.
Who else would it be? Who else would it freaking be besides Peter Ortiz?
Oh, Pete.
With the 5 gifted memberships, let's freaking
Good
go,
job, Pete.
Peter.
Appreciate you, brother.
Let's go, man. If you guys get one of those memberships, make sure to thank him in the chat. Also, throw some legendaries in the chat for old Peter because he's a freaking legend.
Yeah, Peter does the
Let's
Lord's
go.
work for the channel, man.
He does. Huge, huge supporter of the channel. Appreciate you, brother. Shout out Dez the Gym, been a member for 18 months now. See, Dez is a member for 18 months.
Whew.
If Dez can do it for 18 months, you can do it right now. Join.allchiefedup.com. He says, how do you expect Simmons to do against Khalil Mack week 1? So I think it's cool. He gets tested early. We have a gauntlet. I mean, you're talking about teams like the Ravens and teams like that we're playing. The Eagles. Obviously,
Yeah, Eagles
Khalil
week
Mack's
2.
not a slouch.
Yeah.
I mean, if Trey Hendrickson's playing, we don't play the Bengals this year.
No.
Really do. Who else do we play? It's the Bills. We got the Bills early.
The Bills are in like the first 7 or 8 games, I believe. So
I think our bye week's like what, 8?
got a little Greg Rousseau action. I mean, we always play a gauntlet. Just look who's in the AFC West.
Well, I mean, he's gonna get Max Crosby.
yeah,
twice.
you got Max Crosby coming in. You got just all kinds of talent, man.
Look, I fully expect
Nick Benito.
Yeah, Nick Benito's such a dude. I went back. So this just real quick, and I'll get back to your question, Des. But I clicked on an old video of ours the other day. I just saw it pop up in a feed, and I was laughing. I was like, "How bad were we back then?" Right? So I clicked it. And
So
it was
you
a
went to
video.
check it out.
It was a video about Brian Cook when we drafted Brian Cook. So I clicked it, and I was watching it, and I was like, first of all, we sucked, right? Like, it was terrible. It was awkward.
Ass, just straight.
Whatever. But I did say something. I'm still smart in all my awkwardness because I remember saying, you were like, you didn't really like this Brian Cook pick, did you? And I was like, it's not that I don't like Brian Cook, but the fact that we took a safety right here that I'm not big on, and Nick Benito was still available. What the hell were we doing?
Steve, we were Benito guys big time.
That kid's a monster.
When
we
I
knew it was coming.
When I scouted Benito in college, I give him the ultimate compliment. I said he
DT
bent. I said he bent the edge like DTS.
And
I'm not saying that's DT, but I'm saying he bends like DT,
does.
and that is very hard to find.
Well,
and
guess
Benito
what?
had that.
We didn't draft him, and then our division rival did. And now we have to deal
I
with him.
hated that, you know.
But to answer the question, I fully expect Simmons to have a lot of welcome to the NFL moments early.
Yeah, same.
I think he'll be solid. I think he'll be fine. But once again, just like with Kingsley at guard, you guys can't just go crazy in the first week to probably 6 weeks. I'd say around week 8, I would be comfortable with being like, this isn't working or this is working. But until then, it's kind of like you got to let them take their lumps and see what happens. So, obviously, everybody knows that's what happened with Kingsley last year. They pulled him really early, and it kind of put him in the position he's in now, where everyone's skeptical. It's like, I don't know. You think if they would have left Kingsley in last year, maybe he would have continued to get obliterated. But there's also that chance it could have clicked, and he could have got better.
Yeah, there's a chance that doing all that kind of messed with his psyche a little bit. It's kind of,
Yeah, Sky
it's
more
kind of
the
messed
hell
with
out
him
of
some. Yeah. You got to get humbled sometimes. But I'm with you, Steve. I think he's going to have some welcome to the NFL moments. There could be some very bad reps that we could see versus Khalil Mack. And look, if he comes out and he stonewalls Mack the entire game, you're on to something there.
Right, and then if you go on to week 2 and he holds the Eagles in check, because the Eagles are going to be tough for him because of they have quick guys on the edge like Nolan Smith, and then they just drafted Jihad Campbell, who does that kind of stuff. He's very Micah Parsons-esque.
Yeah, he'll come around the edge a lot.
So yeah, man, he's going to have his work cut out for him, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Once again, appreciate you guys being here. I'm going to take a couple questions real quick. I just saw one. What did I do with it? Oh, Nick Lowe says, you guys imagine if Rice actually does a 10-game suspension. So
yeah, did you see that today, Steve?
No, I did not. I was getting ready to ask where the 10 games came from because everything I've heard that's supposed to be inside information is always 6-6.
It was the slap nut Florio, I believe. He said that what he's hearing 6 to 10
Florio.
games. 6 to 10 games is what he's hearing. Look, as soon as I seen Florio said it, I was like, well, he's getting less than 6.
Yeah, he might just get 4.
Might not even suspend the guy after Florio said it.
Yeah. Florio's a slap nut.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, if they give him 10, that's overkill, in my opinion. Especially 10, with the kid from the Vikings getting literally 3 games, 4 games? Come on.
Could you see this happening? 10-game suspension for Rashee Rice. Appeals. Gets 6 games.
Maybe. I think
let's make a point and tell everybody we don't love the Chiefs, so we're going to suspend him for 10 games. But then he has to appeal, and he ends up with 6.
I think if you give him 6, he could appeal and get it to 4.
Yeah, but they were going to start it high.
Yeah, maybe. I could see 6. He appeals, gets it to 4.
Addison's freaking driving drunk out there and got 3.
Right. Now, look, Rashee Rice wasn't drunk. Now, he was acting stupid. It doesn't excuse him. But driving drunk's a little bit, in my opinion, it's a little worse than just speeding.
They're both stupid.
Yeah, but still, I feel like that's got to be a little worse, right?
I would think.
What'd they call it? A soft wet? What was it called?
I don't remember. I didn't even like reading
gross.
That.
It was nasty.
Gross. It's like saying the word moist a lot.
Yeah, what did he plead guilty to, man? He might be on a predator list after that.
He might be. Doug says, your thoughts on my guy Brandon George? I'm hopeful, but he's a long shot. I will say Brandon George looked fast out there.
He had a lot of tackles last night.
He looked good. He looked very good. Honestly, for as much hype as Bassa got last night, I thought Brandon George moved around similarly to Bassa.
Him and Cooper McDonald played really well.
Yeah. If you go back and watch the tape, he's that quick. It was nuts. So Brandon George, I like Brandon George. I'm a fan. I would love to see the kid.
Would you like to see it? Would you be fine? They're taking Bassa, Tranquil, Chanel, Bolton. Would you be fine knocking out Cochran and Cam Jones and taking Brandon George and Coop McDonald? Just going younger there?
And that's no shade to Cochran or Cam Jones, because I think Cochran has done a pretty good job when he's had to step in, honestly.
But they're special teams beast. And these two kids, these UDFAs can do it.
Brother, athletic as hell. Brandon George was flying around.
I do like the idea of getting younger in that linebacker room.
I like the rebel that's in Brandon George, where he likes to skip out of camp and have raging parties in St. Joe.
What? People believe that we were reporting that. I was like, bro, if you guys cannot figure out sarcasm, sarcasm's hard for people, I've noticed.
Well, what's funny is you were making fun of a post on a Facebook page, because there's a lot of Facebook pages. You guys know this. If you guys are on any Facebook Chiefs pages, it's always just these crazy stories like Andy Reid gets divorced from his wife.
Yeah.
And or someone
Dude, did you see the one, Jake Brenningstool? Jake Brenningstool's porn star girlfriend passed away from a Brazilian butt lift. And dude, there was literally 400 Chiefs fans clicking like and being like, this is sad.
Here, I would like to point out the irony of this. Mike screenshots one of these ridiculous fake stories that people are actually interacting with on Facebook. They think it's real.
Oh, yeah.
And he clipped it, posted it on X and was making fun of it. Like, man, Brandon George found a rager in St. Joe. Like, imagine that,
Yeah.
And, like, first of all, his mom got it, and Brandon George both got it. They both
Dude,
liked
his
the post.
mom was cracking up. She was like, I didn't know about that.
Right. They both thought it was funny. They both liked the post. Ha ha. The same idiots that are on Facebook believing this stuff actually were on X and was like, I'm unfollowing you. You're spreading lies. And it's like, oh, my God. Like, you can't fix stupid. You just can't.
It's pretty bad.
Absolutely insane. Shout out Indra. I hope I said that right. I hope. I'm just guessing here. But reposted the stream. Shout out.
That's sick.
Let's go.
So I didn't know that X started telling you now if you repost the stream. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, hey, shout out Elon doing something good for the world.
Let's do it. He's finding the shortcomings of X, getting it going.
Figuring it out, apparently.
Figuring it out. One more question here from Doug. Doug has all the good ones tonight. Sorry. He said thoughts on FAU. Not so good. My thing is with FAU is I don't think he looked bad, and I think FAU is flash in the snaps that he's got in the league. He's not played like a first round draft pick. He's not lived up to what we thought he could be, because even just from looking at his college tape, we thought he could kind of smoothly transition to the NFL, and he just hasn't. Regardless of how I feel about him right now at this moment, he has to do something this year. He has to.
I don't think he's in any danger. A lot of people are saying he's on the roster bubble. I don't think he's any danger of getting cut. But he's coming in on year 3, and this is where this is your make or break year, man. He's either going to turn into Sky Moore, or he's going to figure it out, and it's sink or swim at this point. But to be honest, last night there was a few plays where I was like, dude, he put some pressure on the QB. Looked good.
Felix can do it. Damn it! That's the sad part. I think it's what frustrates everybody.
I think he's a good kid too. Like, it's just I want him to do well.
He has all kinds of pass rush moves. He has it. It's just like putting it together and getting it to translate. And it drives you just as crazy as like Sky Moore did, right?
Maybe I'll do that though. If you guys follow us on X at All Chiefed Up, I may go through and
make a Felix thread.
Yeah, I may make a Felix thread and put up at least 5-6 plays of Felix, good and bad. I want a
Kingsley thread from you. This is your homework. I want a Kingsley thread and I want a Felix thread.
I could do a Kingsley thread, but that's just going to get everybody coming out and telling me I'm an idiot.
Get them going.
If you take up for Kingsley, man, you're going to be hated.
Yeah, man. Hey, shout out Nick. He reposted the stream as well. Let's freaking go.
There we go. Dude, I love this feature.
Killing it, baby.
This is great. I love the X feature there.
Real quick, we're going to get the legend here. He said, who's going to be our returners? That's a great question, because there's so many guys that can do it. But Nico is going to be the returner. He's making the squad. That's why I was saying earlier.
There's your wide receiver 7, so where's your 6?
Well, if they don't take 7 receivers, you're not going to see Tyquan Thornton on the squad. And I have a hard time believing that we're not going to see Tyquan Thornton.
Where's Brownlee? That kid deserves.
Yeah,
dude, we are 8 receivers deep, and it's a beautiful thing. I really like Jason Brownlee. Did you see him post today? He said, all I needed was a chance. And the Chiefs are giving it to me, and I'm ready, and I'm here to play football.
Let's go, baby.
And at the end of every bit of that, you're just looking at that post, and you're like, buddy, I'm so sorry, but Andy Reid is going to bone you. There is no way we can keep him on this roster.
Look, man, Elijah Badger caught a quick pass last night and made something happen. He looked good too. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
So
but
many
like,
receivers,
you almost have to take Nico because he's really the best return guy, and so Tobe loves him, and it's like Brownlee doesn't give you that. And Brownlee plays a position in a Chiefs offense that doesn't, like that back shoulder fade in the end zone last night was wild. We haven't seen that from Mahomes and a good receiver in forever.
I mean, let's just break this down real quick. If they were to somehow if they were to get Jason Brownlee and Tyquan Thornton on this 53-man roster along with Nico, well, how the hell do they go about that?
That's 8. You can't do it.
Yeah, right. And who are you not taking out of the top 5? That's just not happening.
You would have to cut Juju. You would have to say Juju's older.
I don't think they have any interest in that. They have no interest in cutting Juju.
But that's the only way all 3 of them are getting on. Sky and Juju have to go if you get on all 3 of them.
Well, Sky's gone.
I don't see. Look, it would be a crime against humanity if he makes this roster as good as this team is.
He gone.
Can we all make Can we make a deal that if Sky makes this roster, we're all going to get on here and we're going to have a hate party? We're just not going to get in here and cry together.
Look, man, here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking is going to happen. Brownlee just got a nice little showcase to go play somewhere else.
Man, yeah, because look, Amir Smith-Marset looked like he was going to make the team, and Brett Veach shifted him out for a 7th rounder.
He's on the outside.
I like
looking in
Jason
hard.
Brownlee, though, man. And look, I even wrote on Twitter before the game, Steve. I said there's a lot of hype about Tyquan Thornton and stuff. And I said, you guys listen to Mike. Mike knows ball. I said, you watch Jason Brownlee. And then what he do?
Ball.
First freaking touchdown.
That other catch was great, too, the one they stole from him.
He caught that.
Yeah, he did catch it.
He caught it. Those dudes got to get better glasses or something, man. How do you miss that?
Chiefs fan here says take 3 tight ends. I think they're looking at 4 at the moment. I think Tanya's kind of played himself on the roster so far.
Now, we'll say this. If you do have to only take 3, Tanyan probably is that. I still think they take Wiley because they've got so much invested in him.
Right.
But look, they've done weirder things. You may try to put Wiley on the practice squad. You may try to trade Wiley for something. And maybe you take Tanyan, but Tanyan is 31 years old. Now, he's only played about 1,000 snaps in the NFL, so he don't have a lot of, like, tread on the – I mean, he's got a lot of tread on the tire still. So, but, yeah, it's feeling more like Brenningstool's kind of like that injury's put him behind the 8 ball here. And Big Bob looked good last night. Big Bob.
Jay Freezy said he's starting a protest in front of Arrowhead if Sky makes the team this year.
Should we have a protest? Should we do it? Should we close down Main Street in downtown KC and have a protest?
That'd be kind of funny, to be honest. It's like, dude.
Everybody's allowed to protest to stop traffic. Should we all jump in traffic and do it?
I'll tell you this. If Tyquan Thornton doesn't make the roster and Sky Moore does, protest it up.
If Sky Moore makes the roster over Magdalena, I'm having a protest. Dude, Magdalena had a touchdown last night. Freaking Bailey Zappi. How bad with the Patriots? How bad was Mac Jones that he lost his job to Bailey Zappi, bro?
Well, here's the thing. Zappi actually played better than that. Bailey's better than what you saw last night.
Yeah, I think so too.
He is. Mike, we know that. He played at Western Kentucky. We saw his
he played right down the road from us.
The kid's not as bad as he looked last night. Last night was dreadful. But normally he's a little bit better.
You think he was pressing a little bit or something? Or
I think so.
I don't know.
I think the theme that Andy Reid has right now with the quarterbacks, you saw that last night.
Make mistakes, I think. He's telling them to make the mistake.
You saw it with Gardner Minshew. You even saw it with Zappi. Push the ball down the damn field. Just let it go. And I think that, I've said this a long time ago too, I think Minshew is a great person to have there with Patrick Mahomes in the quarterback.
Yeah, to keep Mahomes in check of like, look, they get in the room and Patrick Mahomes turns it into dump down Pat. Minshew will be on his ass making fun of him.
He's going to rub that Gardner Fu Manchu.
We're bringing back the Gardner Minshew T-shirt where it's just his face with the Fu Manchu on it. Can we do it? Let's put it in the store.
It's just going to say Fu Manchu.
Fu Manchu.
Yeah.
Because remember they had the Minshew Mania T-shirt where it had like his little whatever.
I mean, honestly, I do think Gardner's the type of guy where he don't take things too seriously, and he's not like going to ever be scared to do stuff. So I think when Mahomes gets in those funks, Gardner could be the perfect guy to walk over there and be like, hey, buddy, get that stick out of your ass and let the ball fly. You can do that. You're awesome at that. You're Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
Like, I think he needs that in his ear, honestly.
You said that you don't think Minshew's wait, what was it? You didn't think Minshew takes himself too seriously? Look at my phone. He looks
that's a sexy man right there. That's Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yeah, Minshew looking like Billy Ray Cyrus and Tim McGraw had a baby.
Hard ass looking dude. What's he doing?
Dude, I don't know. I'm about to put him on my phone background. People be looking at me weird in public, like I'm, just like a bear walking around, just looking at the men, baby.
Just checking them out.
Just checking it out.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Look at that chest hair, Gardner.
Hey, enjoy however long we have Gardner Minshew as backup quarterback because he's a gem, right?
He's a freaking national treasure.
Yeah. Well, appreciate you guys. Hit that like button on the way out if you haven't already. If you guys donated tonight or gifted out memberships, you guys are legends. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. Be sure to look out for our podcast dropping on Tuesday. We're going to talk about probably a couple rookies pretty heavily, which we mentioned earlier, which is Jeffrey Bassa and Noah Williams. So be on the lookout for that bad boy. And we'll see you next time. Go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs.
Wow.